Hello, and welcome to another episode of Storware Academy. My name is Paweł Piskorz, and I'm a Presales Engineer at Storware. Today, we will be talking how Storware Backup and Recovery can protect OpenStack environment. And to be a bit more specific, how our plugin for Horizon works in the OpenStack. How to do it and what we can do in the OpenStack? Let's do that together. Shall we begin? Okay, let's start slowly. So first of all, let me log into Storware Backup and Recovery. As you can see on my screen, currently I'm using version 7.4. If I go there, I can see my main dashboard, but to properly start OpenStack protection, we must set backup repository. So go into a backup destination. Over there, you can find currently connected file system. As you can see, I have two which are used, and also the third one, which is a Vault. Today during the presentation, I'm going to use file system synthetic. In your scenario, how to do that? Job is very simple. Create button over there. Now you can see a full list of supported by Storware file systems. As I said, file system synthetic is my choice. What we must do? We have to select the bucket. So you can use XFS, NFS 4.2, Boost FS or ZFS at the moment. And we must provide a name. Next step is to choose a proper node configuration. That part will define which node will be doing the backup and restore in our OpenStack. The last part is over there. Over there, each or every administrator must provide a proper mount point, and that mount point will be used later as our backup repository. As you can see, simple job, safe configuration, and now that entry will appear over there, and we will be using that as our repository. Next part, also very important, is to connect OpenStack to the Storware Backup and Recovery. How to do that properly? You must go into virtual environments, virtualization providers, and use create button. In the first list, in the first drop down, please find OpenStack. And now, as you can see, my OpenStack entry is over there, and here we must just fill a gap. So starting from the keystone, which is over there, and after a port, please do not forget to add version 3, v3 from our perspective. Define your region. Choose a proper export method. Currently, Storware can use 3 separate export methods. So disk attachment with generic incremental, that's mean with CBT. Disk attachment where the self monitors could be used, and also SSH transfer. Each method can easily fit to your environment. Later, or after that, jump into OpenStack settings. Over there, choose the proper endpoint for your keystone. We can support internal, admin, and public. Going further, let's go into domains. When administrator, OpenStack administrator, must define the proper user, which will be later used to synchronization, to backup job, as well as to a restore job. If you made everything correctly, as you can see on my screen, my OpenStack is already there, well synchronized, and I have the bunch of VMs available to be protected. And this is how that looks from the Storware UI perspective. Behind the scenes, you have to make a proper connection to your OpenStack Horizon. Instruction, well available in our documentation, but with experience, I know this could be a difficult part. So during that part, Storware, to be specific, Storware supporting is ready to help you and guide you and assist you in that process. So if you have any troubles with that process, do not hesitate to contact us directly. Mine is already well connected, and now look closely what we can achieve over there. Let me jump into OpenStack. As you can see, I already have access over there, so let me log into. And let me check in that RTA project, as a user RTA, what kind of instances or OpenStack VMs I have over there. So there's a bunch of VMs. Yeah, so the idea or basic idea of the plugin is to simplify backup and simplify restore process for the end user. So OpenStack, for example, customer, or even for OpenStack administrator. Check this out. If I collapse every of these tabs, there is an extra one, backup and recovery. If I open that one, there are some items what a user can do. Starting from basic information on the dashboard. So over there I can see information how my backup process, restore process looks like according to the days, level of protection according to the, let's say, total level of protection or success rate in last 24 hours. Going further, and I believe that will be the most important part for each OpenStack administrator or for the OpenStack users. If I open virtual environments over there, there is an instance tab. And our plugin is scanning which instance are currently over there in the proper project, and user, and this is important part, without asking for any permission for backup administrator or OpenStack administrator, can easily make some protection, let's say that way. So can protect its own environment. How to do that? Check this out. So this is an example of the VM. On the right side, in the Action tab, I have access to backup, to mode process, to restore process. And as I said, without asking, simple as that, execute a backup process. So maybe we can do that example together. Here's a RTA OpenStack Serious Nova. So let's try to do that. There's a quick question, what we are going to do. What type of backup we are planning to perform? Full or incremental? And keep that in mind. In our scenario, we are using the synthetic backup repository. So that means if I execute the incremental backup over there, from our perspective, from backup repository perspective, that will be synthetic full, which will be made by a Storware. All right, let's start a new chain of backup. So save. And as you can see, backup task has been submitted. Okay, so how, as a user, I can see what the backup solution is doing? Over there, there is access to two consoles, this task console as well as workflow execution console. Let's go here. Over there is a mine backup job, where I can see a progress and each task which is currently made by a Storware. As you can see over there, the first of two tasks is already finished. That means we already exported metadata as well as volumes into Storware staging area, and two store tasks are currently in the queue. If I refresh that one, almost everything is finished. And now, a quick look into Storware Backup and Recovery UI. And as you can see, over there, there is also Workflow Execution Console. And that task, what we executed on the OpenStack by a plugin, is available over there for the backup administrator. And this is our job. So export and two stores, one into file system synthetic and the second one into Vault. All right. So this is how the backup works, made by Horizon in the OpenStack. So let's try together make a restore. Still, I'm talking here about the backup on demand as well as restore on demand. So again, let's use our test subject, restore button. And now, basically, we must configure and customize that instance which will be created according to backup, what we just made together. So the first step, choose a proper copy that is going to be used as our source for that restore. Let's use the last one, which is available. We just made that copy. About the customization. Storware by a plugin offers you to fully customize the availability zone. Going further, over there, you can make a restore of volume into original storage, or over there you can customize storage which is going to be used. To simplify that process, I'm going to use a default settings, but also there is a chance to select the proper network interface, and keep that in mind. If your instance is using two separate instances, two separate network interfaces, that will be option to choose both of them. In my scenario, simple network interface number one. Going further, we are talking here about the OpenStack. So yes, for sure, over there you can select the proper flavor. That could be the original one, or if you want to do that, you can easily modify and select different flavor which is available from that perspective. Delete if already exists, so that means Storware will check if the original VM, that means instance, exists on the OpenStack in the specific project. If so, that VM will be replaced with the new one according to the data taken directly from the backup repository. And last but not least, we can modify and customize name of the VM. Let's make it very simple. Demo pp restore, and let's save that one. Okay, task has been submitted. So quick look here into not mounted backup, but into okay. Into workflow execution console, and as you can see, my restore is already finished. So right now my import task is in the queue, and that's fine. That will take a few seconds, but this is right time to explain you how the backup policy works made by a plugin. We already made some backups on demand, that's mean backup and restore, but I believe in the normal usage for the normal environment, backup policies are also very important. And yes, administrator, plugin administrator, Horizon administrator, but also the end user can easily create that backup policies directly from here. So virtual environment, backup policies, create button, and over there again there is a wizard, and we basically must fill that gaps. So over there user can name his own policy, can decide if he want to use schedules enable, disable, define how many tries there should be, 0, or maybe in case of failure that user can increase that value. And the important part, select what items I would like to protect. Let's use the first from the law as an example. Over there is a rule. From backup policy perspective, the most important part, because over there we must decide where we would like to store our data. Is that going to be a one repository or backup copy into separate repository at the same time? And also we can decide about the retention. So in case of backup, synthetic backup destination, the number of days to keep and number of version to keep. At the end, over there we can assign the schedules, so for the full and for incremental backup. If we save our configuration, in next backup cycle, according to schedules, backup will be made automatically by Storware Backup and Recovery. Last but not least, we already made a restore, so over there in the project, in the instance, we can see if our newly created VM is ready to be used, and as you can see, it's 2 minutes old, so that means the process works perfectly fine. And this is how that works. Now you know how Storware Backup and Recovery can protect OpenShift environment, especially with Horizon plugin, and what you can achieve with that connection. Stay tuned for another episode of Storware Academy, and of course, do not hesitate to contact us and follow us on the social media. Thank you.